Hey guys, Pastor Jim here at Southwest Homestead. We're going to do a quick little video about that right there behind me. Pallet fence, couple quick do's and don'ts for pallet fencing. And I'm a little tired and sweaty here. It's been a long hot day, so we will do a quick rundown of a few things you want to keep in mind when you're doing pallet fence or reusing pallets. First, look at the height of them right along there. Try and pick ones that are, lay them all out, sort them out. Try and pick ones that are about the same size. They come in a lot of different dimensions. So we're gonna back up here. This is one we threw up fairly quick because we had to keep the toddlers from going into the wash behind here. So we're in the little playground area right now. So let's kind of do like this. Let's see if we can do that. So back along here, we got some fence. We got around the other side here, and then it gets taller. And we will come around the other side and we will take a look at that. This stuff's been up for a while. I know I said I was going to do this video a while back, but it didn't happen. The ducks are loud, so we'll head over this way. We're in the middle of cleaning stuff out here. If you saw the other video, we are moving the homestead. And when you're moving a homestead, you've got way too much stuff to deal with. But we got some expanded metal panel fencing here. We've got, let's go over here under the mulberry tree. We'll start right here. So these were two long skinny pallets. So we stacked them up. You can see right down here, we stacked them on top of each other. What we did is we cemented in some posts first. If you're doing this, ideally you at least paint the posts, treat it with something, some wood sealer, tar or something, and then cement it in, and that'll help stop anything from getting onto them. So if you're expecting it to last a long time or you're wanting it to, treat the posts first if you're not using treated lumber. If you're trying to do it with reclaimed scrap stuff, like pretty much all of this right here is, at least paint them. Preferably get some roofing tar, or there's another sealer treatment. My brain is slow at the moment, but they make special treatment for it. You put it on, it's a sealer, repel termites, keep that stuff protected. But we use 2x4s in some of them, 4x4s in some of them. It's what we had around because, like I said, all this fence was pretty much free reclaimed stuff. So when you put them together, line up your main boards, your 2x4s next to each other, so you can nail them together, screw them together if you like. A lot of people put them the other way, so all these pickets are going the other direction, and it doesn't look nearly as good. At least this way, you can kind of simulate an old-fashioned picket fence. It looks much better in my opinion. It is a little bit more difficult to put together because if you put them the other way, these 2x4s here are going vertical and you can nail or screw them together easier. This way it takes a little more work, but when you're laying them out before you put them together, what you're able to do as we walk this way is try and line up, pick your main boards, your main 2x4 here, your main 2x4 here, so that you can take scraps of 2x4 and feed it inside between these posts, or between these pickets on it, feed it inside, and you can nail it into both pallets. Same thing down here, a little more awkward, but on this one, main board over here, these are the two main boards, 2x4 between them, so we can nail into main board here, nail into main boards over here, and nail through the pickets on both sides, and it's pretty sturdy. We'll come over here. We've got about every, if you can see me, 2 or 3, we got wild animals running through, 2 or 3 pallets. You can't go too far between your posts. You're going to want to go about every 2 pallets. If you try and stretch it out to every 3 pallets, you're going to need more supports, these boards going between the different pallets that you're nailing in between the pickets. You're going to need longer ones, you're going to need more, and it's going to start to get a little more rickety. So about every 2 pallets, so 8 feet, 10 feet, somewhere around there, you're going to want to put in a post. Now we'll come over here. We're at a weird angle here, but we try to follow through along the same thing. Oh, let me move the way I'm doing this and try and show you if I can manage to not do horrible camera work. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing. We got the corners here. So we're actually going around kind of a pentagon angle here. So we're coming out straight here, we're coming over here. Everything we're doing, we're trying to line up these main boards as best as possible where you can nail them together. If you've got some metal brackets, like the Simpson strong ties, something, adding that obviously is going to be stronger. But as we work our way around through here, it's the same kind of thing. You're going to go through, you've got the boards in here connecting between your main boards, and you nail them together at least in 2. If you can't get all the way down to the 3rd, you add a few braces. Let me try and get this. All right, so we add a few 2x4 braces down here. Same thing around here. Doing curved things is more difficult. Now this is the wash here that I was saying we don't want the little kids falling into. I don't know if it's actually going to show very well on video, but it's a big thing, and you don't want the toddlers just falling down in here, especially the wrong time of year if you got rains coming through or something. So we really need to keep them up in the playground area without getting to here, because as you can see, we're right along the edge of it. We're right along the edge of the wash. We got weeds through here that we haven't taken care of. But this is a lot of fence. I mean, we've got probably 80 feet of this on the courtyard, and that's a pretty simple way to do it. Let's walk over this way. We've got some damaged ones over here because we also had a shade structure on it, and we had some really big storms through here in the monsoons, but it's the same kind of thing. All right, so the phone overheated. Apparently it's a little too hot out here today. So let's see if I can kind of recoup my thoughts and bring them back together and see where we're at. Talking about as far as all the pallets and lining them up, we want to try and make sure you have similar sizes and similar areas. If you've got many different sizes of pallets, you want to sort them out and try and put them in zones or areas. So one wall might be a little taller than another wall or in a certain area, and then laying them so it looks, positioning them so it looks like you're doing kind of a picket fence. So the pickets are vertical instead of horizontal. Makes it look a whole lot better. And then it helps as far as being able to put the 2x4s or the other scrap boards that you cut up between them, being able to cut them all into 18-inch, 24-inch sections, slip them in there between the pickets, and then nail or screw them together. Driving, gotta watch where I'm going. Put it all together, and that's about it. Just remember, you want to have your posts about every 8 feet, 10 feet, somewhere in there. You start stretching it out too far, you start getting a lot more flex, a lot more play in your fence. If you do it about every 8 or 10 feet, there's very little. I mean, if you climb over them all the time, obviously they're going to loosen up over time, but that's enough where you can keep animals in it. You can keep it around an area where you don't want kids just wandering through. Older kids, obviously, if you're climbing on it, it's going to loosen up, kind of what it is. But we're not talking about making a playground. We're talking about making perimeter fences for areas, maybe fences for animal coops, and using the majority of reclaimed stuff. So basically free materials, and yeah, I think those are the key things to keep in mind when you're building a pallet fence or a pallet structure. And I will follow up on the playground that we were doing a little while later. We'll do a little recap on that, because that was mostly together, at least phase 1. I don't think we ever finished up phase 2. Now that the homestead is going up for sale, that'll be a little different in the transition, but how to make a nice playground out of mostly reclaimed stuff as well. But that gave us the tree house, we had the slides and the swings and the bridge and all that stuff in there. Lots of fun for the kids. So keep doing what you're doing, and I will see you on the next one.